I also feared myself. You will find throughout life that the only thing that really holds you back is fear of yourself, meaning fear of becoming your real self, fear of becoming your authentic self. And you wonder why people talk about that so much. Why do they keep talking about authenticity? And why do we keep trying to get there? Because most times we're not allowing ourselves to do that. And I didn't do it either. Because, see, when we come into the world, we don't know who we're going to become, and we evolve or we come to know ourselves through our consciousness. That will be formed in different ways for every single person because we're these unique beings. But you will find that there's something that shows up in your life that you are drawn to, that seems interesting, or that you want to do, or that you really enjoy. But you could have been told that that's not okay. You could have been told you're not supposed to do that. I remember hearing those messages when I was so much younger, and they stuck with me. I implanted them. No, I'm not supposed to do this. And so in 1989, when I sat down and started doing automatic writing, because I said, I got to get some help from somewhere. I'd done all the traditional things. I'd done my studies. I've done programs. I've done trainings. I've had mentors. I had absolutely everything. But then I sat down and I started doing automatic writing, and I connected to something else that I didn't completely understand. And because I didn't understand it, I didn't want to tell people either. I'm not going to tell them what I'm doing. But somehow I knew I was supposed to save them. I couldn't even tell you that. It was 1989, and I'm saving every single paper every day. And then I had to do them every day. I couldn't go out of my house unless I sat down and did something and I received the information. I had to get out of the way a lot, though, as well. Because, see, in the beginning, I was trying to control it because I didn't understand what was happening. And so I would ask very specific questions like, how can I get out of this place? How can I change this? And then I heard very clearly, why are you doing that? That's what you and everyone else does. You don't want to know what's more, so you will cut yourself off. This is what I'm hearing from Wilhelm as I'm sitting and trying to do this writing. And so that's when I said, okay, any advice for today? I'll just leave it open. Just tell me what I'm supposed to hear, because obviously I don't know. And I'm going to be open to hearing it. And wow, did that change things. I received information I couldn't tell you how I knew it, where it came from. And then it all turned out to be accurate. And then after years of doing it, it was 36 years of doing it. I wasn't going to do any more than that. I finally wrote a book about it so I could talk about it a little bit, about fear, overcoming fear, a guide to freedom, because that's what we all move through. And so I thought if I could talk about it there, it'll make it a little bit easier. And then in 2021, when I was told that I had all this information that I had accumulated all these years and it could help any person become who they're meant to become, I said, that's not possible. How could that have happened? But then I put people in this program and they changed. And I only gave them a small portion, just a few days of this work. And they were like singing praises of this work like I had never heard. I go, why? How did that happen? I know now because I was connecting to universal consciousness. That's what I was doing. That's why it worked for everyone, and that's why it was always accurate, and that's why I healed. But because I had built in this idea, I'm not supposed to be doing this, and this doesn't even make sense, and people aren't going to understand it. And then it turned out that it was the best mindset course, and it was based in neuroscience and cognitive behavior training, and it also went into the quantum field, which I had never studied and knew nothing about. But that's how the information came through. And then artificial intelligence said, this is an evolution in consciousness that happened over time, and anyone who uses it, they will change their life. That's what it said. There's a document I did to put it, because I had to check for myself, how could that have happened? Now I knew that at this age, and I'm changing, I'm healing, and I'm going in a better direction than ever. How did that happen? It's all in your consciousness. And this work changes it. And that's why I am finishing it now and inviting others to join it. There's nothing in your life that you can't change. I'm just going to say this because I do know. And I can say these things now because at my age and everything I've moved through and done, I know that you can change anything. You just need some help. You just need someone to say, okay, now look this way, or change your perception and think of it that way. That's all that ever occurs. And I sat down and did it every single day. And if you've seen the photo of the writings, yeah, I think I had like 20,000 pages of writings over the years. And then I discovered they were all accurate, meaning they were connected to energetic changes that were happening in the world. Now, that made it challenging because no one had ever done that before. No one had ever received information in that way. So most people couldn't understand me. I couldn't understand me because I had this ability to receive this information. And then it really started to come through when I did live channeling or when I'm doing a private channeling. I can do the same thing. Not so much when I'm just being Roger, but when I'm connected to Wilhelm, I can answer anything. And so that's what I'm going back to. That's what I'm going to allow myself to do now, because I want more people to allow yourself to become who you're meant to be. And whatever that looks like, however you might feel you're going to be judged about it, do it anyway. Because otherwise you hold yourself back and everything gets terrible. That I do know. Because I struggled so long before I could understand how valuable this work was that I had been given, and I'm afraid to tell people. I did a little bit because when I saw that this was so organized and I'm meeting people and I said, I have a message that I received on your birthday in 2012. At first that seemed like that was nuts, and then it worked every single time. Again, verification that there's an energetic connection to all of us and every person is supposed to be here and has something that they're meant to do. And that's what I'm getting about helping everyone to do now. Don't fear yourself. That's the only thing that's going to ever hold you back. See you soon.